Hi, so this is a video to go over how to do a life cycle assessment for ENV 430, and specifically how to quantify a product. And so what we're really looking at is on your quantitative assessment homework, looking at number 1. So basically the way you go about it is to take apart whatever product you have. And so here we're going to walk through a K-cup example. So I just have a K-cup that a friend gave me, and you just start taking it apart. So you cut off the top, you pour the coffee out, you start pulling out. Here it has a little filter in it, and you start pulling that out, and then you end up with all of the stuff that makes up a K-cup. So from this you can really see that you have 4 basic things that go into a K-cup, and this is part of your inventory. So your inventory within your manufacturer could also include other aspects like energy and things that you don't see in the product itself, but within the product these are the 4 main things: your aluminum cap, your coffee filter, and your plastic cup. So what really makes up each part, so we can start to quantify things and how much of each makes up each part. And so that's really the whole purpose of the number 1 on your assessment homework, looking at what the quantity that actually makes each of these up. And so we're going to start with a plastic cup. So the plastic cup, you turn it over and you can start to see some of the information. This is number 5, means polypropylene. So that's the information we want to write down. And also then we can just start to measure it. So how much is makes up the cup? So the cup is about 45 millimeters tall, 50.5 millimeters wide. I also weighed it, and it weighs about 1 gram. And so that's the information that we really want to put forward. And so with this is the information that I pulled out literally by just looking at and measuring my cup. And we want to put it over its functional unit. And so for this, I want to put it over its per pod. So that's my functional unit. And with this, we can say for like each pod, we have a certain amount of polypropylene. And the important thing is that as we change our functional units, whether we want to look at how much polypropylene plastic I may throw out over a month, I need to change my functional units. And so with this, I can multiply the pods by, say, 24 pods, cross out the similar units, and then I can get, for the entire use of a 24-pack, I am using about 24 grams of polypropylene plastic. And then this is just a nice little diagram of the dimensions. And so this is what we really want. This is the quantitative aspect of the product. And so now that we have the polypropylene nailed down, we can start to look at what other aspects make up our product. And so the coffee and the filter are kind of the 2 other big ones. And so here I weighed it, and so coffee plus the filter weighs 18 grams, so I can subtract the filter by itself and have 17 grams of coffee makes up 1 pod. So that's another piece of information I can write down. So here the filter paper is 1 gram, just crimped, just in case it comes in handy. And then the coffee is 17 grams. I put dry because coffee does change weight as it dries. And then sometimes coffee is also measured by volume, so I just measured that as well with the tablespoon that I had handy, and I have about 3.5. So it's also important to note that units, you want to be kind of not too tight with your units here, because 3.5 is kind of an estimate. 17 grams is what it weighed, but I'm not really tied to this unit, certainly plus or minus a few. This was only 1 K-cup. I'm sure different K-cups will introduce variability, so just keep that in mind. The foil, I also measured that, and it has about a diameter of 50.5 millimeters. So just to kind of nail down each of my inventory and some sort of quantification aspect of each if you can. And so this is the information that I actually measured. And so plastic, the filter, the coffee, and the foil. And really the goal is to then put it all over its functional unit. And so again, per pod. And so here, 1 gram polypropylene plastic per pod. And then I can each take 1 gram of paper filter per pod. With the coffee, I can do 17 grams of dry weight per pod, or the volume, 3.5 tablespoons coffee per pod. And then looking at the diameter of the foil. So with these, I can take these and kind of change the units based on whatever aspect that I want. And so this is really what I'm looking for number 1. So you can take each of the inventory and start putting some numbers behind it.